Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Alexander Arefiev. I am press attaché of the Russian Embassy in South Africa, and this is Alternative Viewpoint video series. In its seemingly limitless anti-Russian frenzy, the West apparently decided to force everyone to believe that Russia or anything related to it are not inherent to human civilization. However foolish it may seem to try one's hardest to pretend that the largest and one of the oldest countries on the global map is of no significance to the world, this is obviously the goal of those who call to cancel Russian culture. Our prime example this time will be Piotr Gliński, Polish Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Culture and National Heritage. This is what he once said, as quoted by Errand news agency. Russian culture must disappear from public space. No more, no less. Sadly, this is typical for today's collective West. Upon reaching the caveman level of Russophobia, they have completely lost their touch with reality, because by demanding to cancel Russian culture and even making some practical steps in that direction, such people clearly do not understand the matter they try to deal with. What exactly do they know about Russian culture? What do they know about the history of culture in general? Apparently very little, because if they had comprehensive knowledge of the said subjects, they would have never come up with such insane initiatives. Russian culture is a vast part of global culture. Allow us to demonstrate what exactly we mean on perhaps not so widely known cases. We bet you heard the news from some time ago. London's National Gallery has changed the name of Edgar Degas' Russian dancers to Ukrainian dancers. Gallery spokesperson tried to justify this decision by saying this: it was an appropriate moment to update the painting's title to better reflect the subject of the painting. How does that even make sense? What gives London National Gallery, which has no relation to the creation of worldwide famous masterpieces, the right to decide how the said pieces of art should be entitled? If Edgar Degas wanted to name his painting as Ukrainian Dancers, then he would have done that in the first place, don't you think? Well, if you look at the painting, you'll notice yellow and blue ribbons in the dancer's hair. Eureka! There you go, the colors of modern Ukrainian flag. Seriously? Is that supposed to make them Ukrainian? Here's a quick tour into history. Russian dancers' series of paintings, yes, a series, depict Russian dancers who performed in Paris in 1890s, when the territory of present-day Ukraine was part of the Russian Empire, and the modern Ukrainian blue and yellow flag was non-existent. Do London National Gallery specialists know any of this? Hard to say, but they better read up before renaming the works of such great artists as Edgar Degas. Another example is Hollywood. Yes, Hollywood. You didn't think that Russia had nothing to do with Hollywood, did you? Well, you'll be interested to know that numerous Hollywood actors and actresses such as Elizabeth Taylor, Marlon Brando, Robert De Niro, Tom Cruise, Meryl Streep, and others developed their acting skills within the Stanislavski system, developed in Moscow in early 20th century by Russian actor and director Konstantin Stanislavski. This system became universally acknowledged, and as of today, basically all Hollywood actors learn to act by this system. When you are watching a Hollywood movie and admire the acting skills of your favorite starring celebrities, keep in mind that your positive emotions are provoked by a system created by genius Russian actor and director. So, how about canceling Hollywood for being connected to Russian culture now? Besides, the use of Stanislavski system is not limited to Hollywood alone. In fact, it is the cornerstone of the modern dramatic art in general. If you wish to cancel Konstantin Stanislavski, it means that you are prepared not to watch a single movie or drama theater performance till the end of your life. A brilliant perspective, isn't it? Next up, the ballet. It seems that those who adopted this decision to cancel Russian ballet have completely forgotten of Russia's contribution to this art. For example, that of genius Russian entrepreneur Sergei Diaghilev, creator of the Russian Seasons. What's Russian Seasons? It was a performance tour of Russian artists, including ballet dancers, painters, musicians, singers, etc., in Europe from 1908 to 1929. It was Russian Seasons which introduced Russian dancers, painters, composers, and artists of other genres to European public. The idea behind the Seasons was to show the Europeans the richness of Russian culture and art. Europe was absolutely charmed with what Diaghilev brought. The decorations from Mariinsky Theater, created by Russian painters Alexander Benoit, Nikolai Rerich, Leon Bakst, Russian dancers Tamara Krasavina, Anna Pavlova, by the way, a poster with her image created by Valentin Serov became a true symbol of the Russian Seasons. Then Vera Fokina, Václav Nijinsky, composers Modest Mussorgsky, Mikhail Glinka, Igor Stravinsky, Sergei Prokofiev. It is safe to say that Diaghilev made Europe fall in love with Russia. Yes, there were times when Europe was literally obsessed with everything Russian. By the way, Sergei Diaghilev was also the pioneer of what we now call street advertising. While promoting the Russian Seasons, he introduced such means of advertising as banners and posters. He was also the first to realize that scandal is the best promoter in the world of art, so the details of artists' personal lives hit the pages of the newspapers. This is basically what PR looks even today. So, should we now cancel the advertising as a business activity just because it has Russian origins? However, yeah, we agree, sometimes it's better to have less advertising in your life. Ads can be really annoying sometimes, especially when they're on repeat. Sergei Diaghilev also contributed greatly to the development of ballet as an art. Ballet was the greatest gift the Russian Seasons ever gave to the Europeans. It was Diaghilev who equalized the gender disbalance by promoting male ballet dancers. George Balanchine, the man who created the entire American ballet and laid the foundation of the neoclassic ballet art, worked under Sergei Diaghilev, and it is exactly this experience that became the basis of Balanchine's future prominence as an artist. Balanchine's career in ballet began in Mariinsky Theater. On top of that, here's a curious reminder. In 1954, Balanchine staged the Nutcracker Ballet, based on the music by Pyotr Tchaikovsky, in New York City Ballet. To this day, Nutcracker is still a must-see in the US, one of the most iconic and famous ballets the world has ever seen. Want to know a little secret? Balanchine's memories of his childhood spent in Russia were the source of his maestro's inspiration for creation of Nutcracker. Here's his quote: "Nutcracker is a ballet about Christmas. We had a wonderful Christmas in St. Petersburg. It was so brilliant. I was so little, and Christmas has always been special for me." So while standing in a long queue for tickets to Nutcracker or waiting for your order of tickets to be processed online, remember that you're doing this to get yourself a glimpse of George Balanchine's love for Russia. Do you still want to cancel Sergei Diaghilev or Russian ballet? Then cancel the American ballet and the entire neoclassic ballet as well. While you're at it, close Paris Opera too. Because of its strong ties with Russia, of course. Sergei, or Serge Lifar, who danced for Russian Seasons, legendary choreographer, writer, and dance theoretician, was the ballet master of Paris Opera from 1930 to 1944 and from 1947 to 1958. He devoted himself to the restoration of technical level of Paris Opera Ballet, returning it to its place as one of the best companies in the world. Getting back to the topic, we would like to give you yet another example of how much does Russia and Russians mean to modern culture. Perhaps this is the most vivid yet. We're pretty sure that you're familiar with Chanel No. 5, the first perfume launched by French couturier Gabrielle Coco Chanel in 1921, one of the most famous perfumes in history. Did you know that the formula for this perfume was compounded by Russian chemist and perfumer Ernest Beau? It's true. Mr. Beau was born in Moscow in 1882. It was there, in Moscow, where he developed his skill and eventually became an accomplished perfumer. While creating Chanel No. 5, this masterpiece of a perfume, an icon of style, Ernest Beau was inspired by the atmosphere of Russian winter. During World War I, he served in Russian Imperial Army. His unit was deployed to the northern regions. Chanel No. 5 was created in 1920, when Ernest Beau came back from war. The scent of this perfume is the symbol of his nostalgia and love towards Russia's north, the freshness of the air of a frosty winter day in Russia. If you wear Chanel No. 5, you are nostalgic towards Russia. This perfume truly became Chanel's trampoline towards the heights of success. Does all of the aforesaid make a good enough reason to cancel Chanel No. 5? Or perhaps the entire Chanel brand? Well, if that wasn't enough, Chanel brand placed some of its orders in an atelier opened by a niece of Russian Tsar Nicholas II. These are just few out of many examples of Russia's footprint in world's culture, a peak of the iceberg of its contribution to the treasury of humanity's cultural heritage. We could go on, but in that case we'd have to write a book. In conclusion, we would like to point out that all these attempts to cancel Russia and its culture are doomed to fail. Or rather, the only thing they will succeed at is showcasing arrogance, ignorance, visceral hatred of Russia, and mediocrity of the authors of this absurd initiative. However, this state of affairs highlights one alarming tendency in the West. In its anti-Russian frenzy and Russophobia, it seems to be ready to turn everything into ashes. Narrow-minded and ill-educated are those who propose to cancel Russian culture. It cannot be cancelled by definition. Firstly, because Russian culture is supranational. It includes elements of cultures of almost 200 peoples who live together in Russia and call this country their home. Secondly, as you can see in the examples we gave, Russian culture is a big and integral part of global culture. In a nutshell, to cancel Russian culture means to steal from humanity's cultural treasury. Is this important enough to stop people like Piotr Gliński and experts from London National Gallery? Time will tell. That is all we have for today. My name is Alexander Arefiev. I am press attaché of the Russian Embassy in South Africa, and this is Alternative Viewpoint video series. Stay tuned, stay safe.